Hi, I'm here on your screens once again, and I'm just here to help you find the best accommodation that you can. So if you have received your visa and you're coming to the United States, or you're even going to UK, Canada, congratulations. Even though I am in the United States, some of these tips can also be applicable in other countries as well, such as the United Kingdom and Canada. The generalities can be applied, but be sure to follow content creators in these countries to also get the specifics. Let's dig in. So getting your visa, like I usually say, is just one tiny weeny step, even though it's one of the biggest, but it's just one of the basic steps to be able to come or travel to another country. There's a whole lot more after that. There are crazy tons of things you have to do in order to settle in properly, and then accommodation is one of them. So here we go. I'll give you a few accommodation tips that if I had before I actually got my accommodation, I wouldn't have made some of the mistakes that I made. Trust me, accommodation is one of the few areas where I actually had some challenges with, and so I'm here to share all the tips with you. Number one, as much as possible, try to join any accommodation groups that you have. In Brandeis University, I always use myself as an example. We had a graduate housing group on Facebook, so you be sure to join, where people who are leaving their accommodations actually post their rooms there, and homeowners also post newly renovated houses and what have you there. So be sure to join any kind of community or any kind of group that has that in your school, in or around your school, or in or around the area or the neighborhood where you are going to study, and then it will be one of the sure ways for you to find very quick accommodation. That's for quick accommodation actually. Right. Now, number two, apart from the ones that are affiliated with the schools, you could also have other ones like, Grad B&B. There are actually other ones, but be very sure and be very careful that you are actually not scammed. That is why those that are on the school groups are the safest. Even though they are safe, there's also even a limit to fear towards them. So number two is also to join like external accommodation sites. Now number three is very important, but I'll leave the best for the last. So be very sure to watch through till the end. Now, the following steps is the few things you have to look out for, or before you actually find accommodation. You don't jump into the next available house or room that's within your budget to be able to survive. I mean, you'd regret it later. The interim joy and success, you'll be fine. Yeah, I got a place to sleep, but then you pay for it later. Okay, third thing on my list, that's a mouthful. The third thing on my list is proximity to the school. So if possible, you need to find accommodation that's very close to the school. Look, even though sometimes these ones are a bit more pricey than the others, in the long term, sometimes it actually pays off, because you can just walk to school rather than pay for a bus ride or a train ride. But different people have different preferences when it comes to these things. So one of it is their proximity to the school. Now, the next thing, so if you don't really want one that is close to school, then the next step is for you. So number four is actually to find accommodation that is actually close to a source of transportation. There are people that I know that they just don't like to stay very close to school. If you are one of these people, or you don't happen to find accommodation that is very close to school, this is for you. Make sure whichever accommodation you are getting anywhere is very close to a source of transportation. Maybe let's say it's just one bus ride to school or one train ride to school. Make sure the route is not so complex or cumbersome where you have to wait for the ride. After the bus comes, you need to drop somewhere, exchange another bus. Look, you're actually going to get tired and you'll be missing buses. You'll be late to school. Like, anything can happen. So at least one bus ride, it's okay. One train ride, it's okay. Maybe one bus ride, one train ride. I mean, whatever your preferences are, just make sure to consider all these things before you actually choose your location. So that is it for number 4. Proximity to transportation, I would say, or proximity to an easy source of transportation. That is number 4. Now moving on to number 5, I would tell you to also consider proximity to, like, you know, shops that are around. Like, for example, as basic as a grocery store. And I was happy with my first accommodation because it was very close to a grocery store. You could just walk, buy what you need, and come home. Because at that time when you move in initially, you may likely not have a car. So you want a place where when you do your groceries, you can just hold it and come. Maximum 1 bus ride, 1 train ride, and less walking, because you wouldn't want to be holding so many things like all your groceries and be walking so much. No. Okay, so number 6 is the amenities in the facility or in that house. So talking about America, United States of America, I'm not sure about other countries, but one of the best ways to save money as a graduate student is to share your apartment or share your space with people. Because if you can afford it, yes, you can just get your own space, is the best. But most of the time it's very, very pricey, so you are likely to share your apartment with other people. When you are sharing, please consider the amenities that you have there. The kitchen that you're supposed to share, like how many people are sharing that kitchen? Do they have washing machine and dryer? If they do, is it coin operated or not? Look, it's so annoying to live in a coin operated washing machine, like a facility with a coin operated washing machine. Sometimes it's not really a big deal if all your major factors are okay, you can live with it. But trust me, it's very annoying. You don't tend to wash your whites, light colors, dark colors, because you have to pay. Sometimes you just put everything inside and wash it, and it's not fun. So please make sure that you check that as well. Sometimes it's just a washing machine that is coin operated, the dryer is free. Sometimes both washing machine and dryers are coin operated. Then you might as well not have even had it there. Like, you know, you just go outside, do your laundry and come back. But notwithstanding, just check for the amenities that are there. Do you have a common space? Do you have a common area that, like, you know, something like a hall where you can host your guests, and your guests don't necessarily have to go to your bedroom if you are not comfortable with that? You know, all those amenities. Be sure and note all these amenities before you actually settle that this is the place that I want to live. So number 7, which is the very last that I told you that I'm going to give you, and it's actually the best, is now when you get admission into your school, I would just advise this. If you want, you can try it. It may or may not work. I know some people that it worked for, and I was very surprised. I didn't even think about that before coming. You know, I was very surprised. I'm like, geez, this girl was very smart. She told me about it, and I was like, she's so smart. Now is that, so what she did was, after she got her admission, she just went on LinkedIn to actually look for, you know, 1 or 2 people who are already in the school. So you can do that. Go on LinkedIn, try to connect with a few people who are already in the school, not those who have graduated. Most likely you can contact those who have graduated, but what works best is those who are already in the school, and be like, hey, I got admission into the school. You'll be surprised as to how much some of these people are willing to help. Like, they really want to help you because they know what it takes to be here. So go to the school, LinkedIn, look for people who are attending that school. You can look for people who are from your country, because your country people understand you better, or people who are from neighboring countries, from wherever you are coming from. Or just, you know, throw your net out like really wide and tell them, look, I got this school, I want to come, I'm looking for accommodation, could you please help me? It's tough here, but just in case the person hears something or anything like that, the person would allow you. Some even are so lucky to even share, you know, accommodation. Like, you know, they just go like, oh, you know what, I have some space, I can just let you buy a bed, put it in, and then we can split the rent. God, that's heaven, because that person already is there. The person knows everything, that the person can just guide you through everything, and your settling in is going to be phenomenal. So that is my tip for you. Try it, and if it works, please don't forget to come and thank me. Okay, so that is my very last tip for you. I really hope you enjoyed the video and you actually learned something out of it. I wish that your journey will be way smoother than mine. That is why I actually come your way to give you all these tips. Stay tuned if you enjoyed them and you love some more. subscribe. If you actually like this and you like contents like this that will be coming your way, I'm going to try as much as possible to make your journey here smooth. My name is Dr. Rich Lavenbro, and I'll come your way next week with the next episode or the next video. Bye.